Hello and welcome to the channel Gavaxman Spins with part 2 of the September vinyl finds, part 2 of a trilogy. Will it be an Empire Strikes Back or will it be a Matrix Reloaded? Let me know in the comments. So so last one was Birmingham to Belfast. This one is Bath or Bath, depending if you're posh or not, to Boldmere, which is in the West Midlands. So let's start with Bath. A lovely shop called Resolution Records, which is by the Indoor Market. Midweek, so the Antiquity Fair wasn't on, but there the weekend. I think if you're going to go to look for records, probably the weekend is the time to go. But Resolution Records, home of lots of bargains, which is this lot. And I also bought a 7-inch single, which is probably the most I've paid for a second-hand single ever. But stick around and I will show you that one. It wasn't thousands, but there you go. So cheapy bins, the Michael Shanker Group. So for those of a certain vintage, Michael Shanker, he of the Flying V guitar, along with the immortal Cozy Powell on drums. We're around in the early 80s. He used to be in UFO and briefly in the Scorpions, I think. But I've been thinking of buying this album since 1981, and I've finally succumbed because this is absolutely mint. This copy is, and the record shop actually I think do clean all their records, which is nice. So I cleaned it again myself. Listened to this the other night. It's absolutely brilliant, actually. So a classic double live album from 1981. Michael Shanker Group, MSG, and yeah, with their 1981 double live album. So that was cheap as chips, that one. So pick that one up. So once you find one cheaper, you have to keep looking, don't you? So nice record shop, lots of choice, but I was drawn to the bargains. And one other thing I'll show you, picked up a Joanie Mitchell 80s album. So again, this was in the kind of £3 territory on Geffen Records. Very nice gatefold job again, if I can open it. There you go, bit of Joanie. Does all her own cover art, doesn't she? I haven't had a chance to listen to that one yet, but cleaned up all right, so see what that's like. And then next three are very much completing bits of my collection. So a bit of Eric Clapton. So I've got all the 70s, and this was the only 80s album I hadn't got on vinyl. So for £3, I wasn't going to leave that behind, particularly as it's in rather good nick. And then delighted to find the next two, because I've got all of the Roxy Music stuff on vinyl. I'd got most of the Brian Ferry stuff on vinyl with two exceptions. So there was this one, which is In Your Mind. This has This Is Tomorrow and Tokyo Joe on it. And I also managed to pick up, so I've now got all of his 70s and 80s solo stuff, so I'm probably happy there, to be honest with you. But I did find an import, still got the import sticker on, for Let's Stick Together, which of course has that immortal single on it. But it's also got things like The Price of Love and some Roxy Music reworking tracks. So really pleased to find that one. I do like a bit of Brian Ferry, Mr. Smooth. Those of us of an age from the 80s, you know, Brian Ferry and Roxy Music were the height of sophistication. So let me show you the very, very expensive single. So the reason I bought this, and there's a couple of clues around me behind, is this is an 80s band, and I've got every single on some format that they've done, with one exception. So I've got all the UK stuff. I've got the first 12-inch EP, which was an Ireland only issue, but I hadn't got the debut single, and I do believe this is the only way to get this on vinyl, is on the 7-inch that was issued back in 1980. So I am talking U2, and this is an Ireland only single on the CBS label, called Another Day, with artwork by Bono. This was 20 quid, but to be fair, if you look online, you won't find one. Well, I haven't found one for under 30, and I'm always slightly dubious because a lot come up and they look almost too good to be true, but the prices are really the 30 to, you know, £80. So 20 quid actually wasn't bad. It's got the picture sleeve, and actually it's in pretty good nick. So this is U2, Another Day, their debut single in Ireland, and yeah, I was very pleased to find this. So there you go. So I went all the way to Derry and Bath, didn't find any U2, and they Derry and Belfast even. Didn't find any U2, but in Bath I did find that, so I was well happy to find that. So that was Bath. When I got home, my last ever Vinyl Me Please shipment had arrived. So this is the Ramon's Too Tough to Die from 1984. I've been booted off, been a member since Van Morrison and the Eden Fleece one, whenever that was. I never had a problem with VMP, but they, alas, cannot afford to ship records to us anymore. So us international subs have been ditched, but we did get this absolutely stunning bit of vinyl. Look at that. So I'll give them the due. It might be the last one I got, but they went out with a bit of a bang. So yeah, so the most pretty bit of vinyl that arrived in the month of September. So hightailed it from Bath. I was a bit more local in Bridgnorth. That's another B, Bath, Bridgnorth. And lo and behold, having a bit of a mooch round on a Saturday afternoon. Thought we'd go for some food and stuff like that. And there's only a record shop open there in the last 12 months, which I had no idea was there. So the good lady wife did not believe me that I didn't know it was there, but genuinely I didn't. So having a little flick through, nice selection of used, new, got some record store day stuff as well. A lot of Blu-rays and DVDs as well, actually. But decent shop, actually. And I straight away found a couple of 12-inch singles. And these were cheap as chips. So I've been buying, over the last 2 years, all of the Frankie Goes to Hollywood 12-inch singles. So I focused on the Pleasure Dome either first. Pretty much got, I think I've got all of those. It's quite a lot, actually, because they tend to release different variants. But so on to the last album. So I'd got the Warriors of the Wasteland single, which is brilliant. But Rage Hard has now joined the club, and the 12-inch version of this is superb, so well worth getting. And then they'd also got Watching the Wildlife, which is probably their weakest single, but hey ho, that's another one to tick off the collection. So I was well pleased to find that. Also found in the very, very cheapest stuff a little Vangelis album. Do like a bit of Vangelis. Doesn't get much of a mention, but there you go. That was a spacey one, Albedo 0.39. So I haven't had a chance to listen to that yet, but it's on the Orange RCA label. So pleased with that one. But the absolute find of the day, despite going all the way to Derry and Belfast and not finding any studio albums by this band, I go to Boldmere, Bridgnorth, which is up the road, and look what's there. So the Undertones Hypnotizer, second album, with the world's worst probably record cover. Yeah, don't think that helped sell millions of copies. Great album though. I've had this on CD for years, so I was really pleased to get this. And as a bit of a bonus, it actually is the original UK press with the Sire label. So well happy to find that, and it wasn't expensive as well. So there you go, goes all the way to Ireland looking for Undertones and U2, and I found them in Bath and Bridgnorth. So that was those. Did a little sojourn to Wolverhampton, vinyl and vintage there. Came up the goods with some good, and this is a band I don't see these at, well, I've never seen these albums in 20 years in the wild. So In Excess, Underneath the Colours, and also Shabu Shuba. And this one is, I think the Underneath Colours is a reissue from the late 80s, but this is an original, so 1983. So Michael Hutchinson. Don't see a lot of those, so I'm not far off having a complete In Excess on vinyl kind of run now. And final stop of part 2, because yes, there is a part 3 of Vinyl Finds. That will also include a VC meetup. So there you go. But the final record in this little segment was from Boldmere and Psychotron Records, which is a great shop. He put it's always worth following record shops on Facebook. He put a little post up saying he's got a new collection in the van. He was bringing it into the shop later that week, and I could spot this album in the back of the car, and I naively went, "Oh, I'd quite like that one. How much?" He went, "No problem. I'll put it to one side for you. That will be nearly £100." And this was the album. I did then go, hold on, that's a little bit rich, isn't it? And it turns out the one he's shown in the picture was a super duper big box set version of this album. But bless him, he went, "No worries, I will sort you an original from you." I think from Pete, who's the chap there, his own collection. So yeah, so there you go. So PIL, and the brilliant cover actually, album Minimalism to an 8th Degree, the compact disc was just called compact disc, and the cassette was just called cassette. So there you go, 10 minutes, short and sweet. Hopefully you'll be back for part 3, and part 3 will, as I say, include the last little splurge of the September holiday kind of buying, and a VC vinyl community, for those who don't know, meet up with another member who's quite local to us. So stay tuned for that one. Thanks for watching, and I'll hopefully see you on the next one.